Devil Fruit Explained from One Piece. Devil fruits are mysterious, distinctive fruits scattered throughout the world, known for granting their eaters permanent superhuman powers and an equally permanent inability to swim. As a whole, devil fruits encompass hundreds of different powers, from the apparently mundane to the inherently mass-destructive. These are broadly grouped among three classes: Paramecia, which offer a vast array of strange abilities; Logia, which grant the users the power to become and control natural elements; and Zoan, which allow the users to transform into animals or animal hybrids. Devil fruits have empowered many of the world's most significant individuals, especially among the three great powers. This, along with their general rarity, causes them to be highly sought after. Single specimens can be valued at hundreds of millions in belly, and extensive efforts have been made to mass-produce artificial versions for warfare. With only one notable exception, an individual can only acquire the powers of a single devil fruit and survive. According to Oda, a certain professor will explain the complex mechanisms behind all of the devil fruits in the series at some point in the future. Welcome to the Amagi. In today's video, we're going over devil fruit in One Piece. Before we begin, we publish a new video every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. The Amagi's reach stretches beyond just this channel, so if you're a fan of us, please consider subscribing to our other channels and following us on all of our social media. Help us reach our goal of passing 100,000 followers on all of our accounts by the end of the year. And with that out of the way, let's get into the video. Background. A devil fruit, after being consumed, gives the consumer a superpower or special trait, which they will soon become aware of. A person who has eaten a devil fruit and gained its powers is known as a devil fruit user. There are more than 100 different devil fruits in the world, but only one of each devil fruit exists. Additionally, all devil fruits are known to taste very bad and cause the consumer to permanently lose their ability to swim. It's currently unknown what exactly devil fruits are, where they came from, or how they work. What is known about them is that the powers within affect the eater's lineage factor. The fruits come in all different shapes and colors, though all the devil fruits seen so far have possessed swirl marks or patterns. The only known exceptions are the artificial devil fruits, which have ring patterns on them. The oldest introduced devil fruit user is Kozuki Toki, who was born 800 years ago, meaning devil fruits have existed in the world for at least 8 centuries. Only one bite is needed for the user to gain the power of the devil fruit, after which the devil fruit becomes a simple, useless, disgusting fruit. Despite this, the majority of those who have consumed a devil fruit have eaten the entire fruit, as they're apparently unaware of this fact. Furthermore, the consumer gains the powers and drawbacks of the fruit immediately after the fruit is swallowed, without needing to wait for it to digest. A person can only eat a single devil fruit in their entire life. Any attempt to gain a second devil fruit power will cause the consumer's body to be torn apart to such a degree that little trace is left of it, resulting in their death. The reason for this is currently unknown. It's rumored that an actual devil lies inside each fruit and transfers to a fruit user's body upon consumption, and would fight with the devil inhabiting another fruit if they were to meet within the same body. But this rumor has been debunked by science. Notably, there is a method that would allow one to steal the devil fruit powers from the dead body of a deceased devil fruit user. The details of this method are currently unknown. The only ones who know this method are Marshall D. Teach and his crew. Devil fruits are said to be fruits of the Sea Devil, and that the secret to their power is hidden in the Grand Line. Because encounters with them are rare, especially outside the Grand Line, a number of rumors about them have risen, making it difficult to tell whether some things are fact or fiction. Some people even dismiss them as mere myth until actually getting to see one in action. The average person knows nothing or very little about what they are or what they do. This especially applies to people in isolated countries, even within the Grand Line, such as the people of Wano Country, and even Princess Shirahoshi of Fishman Island, as none of them know about the devil fruits, instead believing the powers bestowed to users are curses or sorcery. Relatedly, devil fruits may also lead the user to be considered a freak and treated as an outcast. This is because some of the abilities are considered far too strange or frightening for normal people to accept. In many cases, devil fruit users are considered a different race altogether, and with good reason. Many devil fruit users have their own titles, such as rubber human, magma human, or human reindeer. As seen with these examples, the title is usually the type of ability followed by the species, or in the case of items which have eaten Zoan fruits, the object they originally were. The sole exception is the Kage Kage no Mi user, who gains the title of Ruler of Shadows. Notably, devil fruit powers generally extend through the clothes that the user is wearing. Paramecia fruit users alter their clothes along with themselves automatically. For example, Luffy's shirt will never burst a button when his torso is inflated in 3rd gear, Mr. One's pants become blades along with his legs, etc. Zoan fruits users' clothes fit in the same proportions after their transformation. Chopper's hat grew big when he was in Monster Point, Jobra's shoes are considerably stretched when in the hybrid form, and Logia fruit users transform their clothes and subsequent accessories to their element along with themselves. Oda explained in an SBS once that if he had done it realistically, the manga would have had too much unnecessary nudity. This rule also applies to cyborg enhancements and prosthetic body parts. An example of this is Queen's artificial arm, which transforms into a Brachiosaurus leg when he takes his Brachiosaurus form. However, some users do not seem to adhere to this, such as Jewelry Bonnie, whose clothes do not change proportionally to their powers. Interestingly, although eating a devil fruit affects the consumer's genetic blueprint, it causes no abnormalities in their children. An example is the Charlotte family. Though its matriarch, Charlotte Linlin, has devil fruit powers, none of her children were born with powers of their own. Furthermore, even though the parents cannot consume a second devil fruit, a devil fruit user's children who don't already have powers can consume devil fruits of their own without dying, should the opportunity present itself. Devil fruits are the source of power for some of the strongest people of the current generation in the world, including rookie pirate crews, the Marine Admirals, the 7 Warlords of the Sea, and at least 3 Emperors: Blackbeard, Big Mom, and Kaido. Because of their power, devil fruits are highly sought after by both the government and the underworld, among many other parties. If sold, they can expect to fetch well over 100 million, and devil fruit users themselves are sold at market prices the same way slaves are. Of course, individual fruits each have their differences in price depending on the powers bestowed, as the Ope Ope no Mi is worth over 5 billion on the black market. They are relatively common in the Grand Line compared to the other 4 blues. A typical pirate crew in the Grand Line will often center around a captain with devil fruit powers, such as the Bellamy Pirates, the Wapwol Pirates, or the Foxy Pirates, while stronger crews and organizations will often contain multiple devil fruit users, such as the Whitebeard Pirates, the Big Mom Pirates, the Beasts Pirates, the Don Quixote Pirates, Baroque Works, or the Marines. 2 of the Emperors, Blackbeard and Kaido, even take this so far as to go out of their way to gather as many devil fruits as possible using their own unique methods. In fact, since entering the Grand Line, nearly every single major opponent that Luffy has faced had a devil fruit ability, while in the East Blue he only faced 2, not including Alvida, who ate her devil fruit later on after their first encounter. Identification. There is a devil fruit encyclopedia that lists the names and powers of all the devil fruits. However, only a few of them have illustrations, meaning that most devil fruits cannot be identified by their appearance. For example, the Gomu Gomu no Mi and the Yami Yami no Mi had pictures that could be recognized prior to consumption, whereas the Awa Awa no Mi and the Ushi Ushi no Mi modeled giraffe did not and could only be identified by the abilities that were granted. This would only imply that the information in the books is incomplete and that there are still fruits out there with abilities that have yet to be documented. One individual known to utilize this book is Blackbeard, who, in his search for the Yami Yami no Mi, memorized its shape from the illustration provided. The Vinsmoke family also has a copy of the encyclopedia, which Sanji read and became interested in the Suki Suki no Mi. Paramecia. The most common of the 3 devil fruit types, Paramecia type devil fruits, grant their users superhuman powers other than being able to change into animals or natural elementals, such powers as shockwave generation and locking onto targets. Paramecia fruits can alter features on the user's body, such as a slippery physique, being able to split their own body into pieces harmlessly, or gain a body of blades. Some Paramecia fruits allow the user to modify the people, objects, and environment around them, like by making things levitate or turning people into toys. Finally, there are some users that can generate and manipulate substances, such as wax and poison. Logia. The rarest and most powerful of the 3 devil fruit types, Logia type devil fruits allow their users to create, control, and transform their body into a natural element, such as ice, mud, smoke, lightning, or darkness. The The elemental transformation effectively makes the user intangible, as well as allowing the user to remain in control of their body even when it's broken into pieces. They also gain every ability related to that element, such as sand being able to absorb moisture or light being able to travel at light speed. Zoan. The users of Zoan-type devil fruits gain the ability to transform into an animal as well as transform into a hybrid form of their own species and the species the fruit allows them to transform into. Unlike other devil fruits, Zoans are said to have a will of their own. A recently discovered science allows Zoan fruits to be integrated into objects, bringing the object to life and granting it these standard Zoan transformations. Carnivorous animal Zoans are better suited for combat. Zoan fruits have a number of subclassifications, including Ancient Zoan. Zoan fruits that allow the user to transform into an extinct species, such as dinosaurs. Ancient Zoans are rare and they appear to be stronger than regular Zoans. Mythical Zoan animals tend to have special powers, like a Phoenix Zoan being able to generate flames that have healing powers. Mythical Zoans are the rarest type of devil fruit, even more so than Logias. Artificial Zoan. Artificially created Zoan fruits that cause the user to permanently take on an animal characteristic, though much more rarely the user would be able to transform at will. The artificial Zoan fruits have a 10% success rate, while the other 90%, in addition to not gaining animal traits and losing the ability to swim, were stripped of the ability to express negative emotions, leaving them only the ability to smile and laugh, regardless of how they actually feel. The artificial fruits were developed by Vegapunk and Don Quixote do Flamingo. Natural devil fruits. Devil fruits exist in a cycle of reincarnation. When a devil fruit user dies, their ability is reborn in a new fruit. Instead of growing from a plant, the ability simply regenerates inside another similar fruit, which then transforms into the devil fruit in question. When this happens, the empowered fruit changes appearance. Some characteristics of a fruit's transformation into a devil fruit include the distinct spiral patterns, a curly stem, and a color change. Artificial devil fruit. Smile devil fruits have been shown to grow on trees groomed by the dwarves of the Tontata kingdom under the Don Quixote pirates' coercion. Unlike regular devil fruits, the smile are more traditional fruits that are transformed over time. Benefits of consumption. The main attraction of eating a devil fruit is the power bestowed to the user upon ingestion. More often than not, the benefits and uses bestowed by a devil fruit far outweigh the loss of the ability to swim. Many of these powers are advantageous in combat, such as enhanced physical strength, a variety of unique attacks, and even controlling the forces of nature. There are also powers that are good for support, such as the ability to heal others, enhanced senses, and to create food out of nothing. Devil fruit powers are so varied and mysterious that the powers gained from eating one can serve purposes that may transcend normal limits. One such example is that one devil fruit was able to cure an otherwise incurable disease. Regardless of what power one receives, even ones that would normally have been considered weird or useless can be utilized as highly valuable assets both in and out of combat. What matters is the strength, skill, and creativity of the user. If nothing else, eating a devil fruit will not make its user any weaker, as noted by Rob Lucci. Additionally, since each devil fruit user possesses a unique ability, they each require different countermeasures to deal with them, outside of the standard devil fruit weaknesses of sea stone and the inability to swim. As such, devil fruit users with odd or unfamiliar powers are very tricky to deal with in a fight. The standard approach is to take a step back and experiment with different means of attack against the devil fruit user. Another advantage of devil fruit powers is that many places and people lack information about them, resulting in the belief that the powers are some kind of magic or curse. These misconceptions on how the power was achieved can be utilized by the user to manipulate individuals for the user's own purposes. Devil fruit powers are highly coveted, with many people spending their entire lives seeking out just one specific devil fruit, with most of these seekers often ending up disappointed or dead. The subject of which devil fruit is the most powerful is up for debate. There are a number of devil fruits which have noticeable strengths, such as the Magu Magu no Mi, which has the greatest attack power out of all the devil fruits, or the Gura Gura no Mi, which is said to be able to destroy the entire world. However, as mentioned above, the strength of a devil fruit ultimately depends on the user. Consequences of consumption. Devil fruits, despite all their beneficial abilities, have a number of downsides. One such downside is that so little is really known about them. In some cases, an entire society can be completely unaware of the existence of devil fruits. Due to this lack of information, and with some still being unknown, the average consumer is effectively gambling when consuming one, without knowing what powers the devil fruit will grant, potentially resulting in a power that is difficult for that one particular person to work with. Even if the power that devil fruit user gains is a useful one, a devil fruit user doesn't automatically have control over their powers. All devil fruit users have to train to learn how to activate, control, and use their power. This process could potentially put the devil fruit user in a position that is painful and or humiliating. Another downside is that while many citizens can be fascinated by people with powers, others may consider a devil fruit user to be a freak, a monster, or even a devil. With no way of removing the power, a devil fruit user will end up leading a miserable life full of discrimination from those around them. Weakness to water. The most prominent consequence of eating a devil fruit is the weakness to seawater. The sea hates and rejects devil fruit users, causing them to become weak and helpless while submerged in water, also referred to as becoming a hammer. Though this weakness is usually referred to as the inability to swim, a more accurate definition is that the seawater itself is the weakness. The inability to move their body in the sea is simply a byproduct of this weakness. In a world made up almost entirely of ocean, being weak against the sea can prove deadly to many devil fruit users, such as pirates and marines sailing on the Grand Line. Oda stated in an SBS that devil fruit users are susceptible to all types of water, not just seawater. This includes the white sea surrounding Skypiea. He elaborated on this by saying that moving water, like rain or waves, does not weaken devil fruit users, while standing water, like lakes or rivers, does. This was also first shown when Monkey D. Luffy was in the dance powder-induced rain and did not feel his powers slipping away. And again on Zou, when the seawater that Zunisha used to shower did not affect him despite being seawater, as it was moving water. One of the greatest dangers caused by a devil fruit user's weakness to water is the risk of drowning, which opponents can take advantage of in order to kill even the strongest of devil fruit users. However, it should be noted that the risk of drowning only applies to a devil fruit user if they cannot breathe underwater, as fishmen and merfolk devil fruit users are capable of breathing underwater, so they're not subject to this risk. However, even if a devil fruit user can survive underwater without drowning, they will still be rendered unable to move. This immobility would make such users vulnerable to underwater dangers, such as ocean predators, as they would be incapable of defending themselves. Oda stated in an SBS that it is not until a devil fruit user has at least half their body in the water that they become immobilized. This is seen when the Gorgon sisters and Luffy in Boa Hancock's bath were still able to move. Brook was also seen slowly losing his strength as the water levels increased in the floods in Ryugu Palace, demonstrating that being in contact with the sea does not instantly rob their strength unless it reaches a certain level. Another danger is that even if only a part of the user's body is submerged in water, they cannot use their devil fruit powers, no matter how much or how little is submerged. However, if the user's body has been permanently altered by the fruit, then the user's ability can be manipulated by outside sources. Like when Luffy was knocked into and sunk to the bottom of the pool at Arlong Park, Genzo and Nojiko dove underwater and stretched his neck so his head would be above water, allowing him to respirate. However, it should be noted that just being wet is not enough to induce weakness and nullify the user's powers, as the same is true for water inside the devil fruit user's body, such as water that the user drinks, as seen when Luffy used Water Luffy. He and his powers were not affected in any way by the water in his body or the water covering his fists. It should be noted that although all devil fruit users are weak against water, the power itself may still work underwater. Despite the weakness to water, a devil fruit user will only be affected by the water if he or she is physically touching it. Not touching the water itself will allow the user to go unaffected even if submerged, shown when the monster trio used diving gear to reach the sunken St. Brice, and again when the same trio coated themselves in Yarukiman tree resin bubbles to battle the Kraken. Aside from the common weakness of becoming paralyzed in still water that all devil fruit users share, there are also many powers that have a further weakness to water, having their abilities dampened or even outright washed away upon contact. Superiority and Unpredictability. While the strength and capabilities of a devil fruit are ultimately determined by the strength and skill of the user, some devil fruit powers react in certain ways against each other, regardless of the user's own capabilities. In some cases, one devil fruit has natural superiority over another, resulting in a significant advantage in combat. Aside from this rule of superiority, other devil fruit powers can react to each other in all kinds of unpredictable manners. Proficiency. After consuming a fruit, the user does not automatically have mastery over their powers and must train themselves to properly use their new techniques. The more the user understands their own abilities, the greater the varieties of techniques the user can utilize, which eventually leads to the awakening itself. Those who cannot harness their devil fruit's power well will not be able to utilize their abilities to the fullest. Different people take different amounts of time to master their powers. For example, Luffy spent years learning how to use the Gomu Gomu no Mi, whereas Khalifa and Kaku only took hours to get used to their new abilities after consuming their devil fruits. Sabo trained with his Mera Mera no Mi ability at Baltigo days after Doflamingo's downfall, indicating that Sabo was still trying to understand his power. Brook himself took around 50 years to finally understand the full potential of his Yomi Yomi no Mi, earning his title of Soul King. Proficiency also relates to the user's stamina. When exhausted, one cannot use their powers properly and must rest to regain their strength. After using his monster point, Chopper must rest for at least 3 hours after the Rumble Ball effect subsided. Awakening. Devil fruit powers can, in rare instances, achieve awakening, significantly increasing the user's abilities. While the details of how a devil fruit can be awakened are not fully known, the circumstances of Luffy regaining consciousness after having his voice snuffed out and believed to be dead after Kaido's attack indicates that recovery from a near-death experience could be a key factor. According to Kaido, awakening is what happens when a devil fruit's user's mind and body catches up to their powers. Furthermore, it's linked to the user understanding the capabilities of their devil fruit's power. When a devil fruit power is awakened, the increased abilities have been seen to allow significantly greater power, more refined control, and new abilities that would not otherwise be possible. The effects of the awakening depend on the type of devil fruit. It's been noted that it takes time to fully master awakened powers. If they're not fully mastered, they can still be used, but they take a serious toll on the user's stamina. Zoan. For Zoan-type powers, awakening grants far greater strength, speed, and durability than unawakened Zoan powers. This also includes faster recovery time, which functions involuntarily even when the user is unconscious. Awakened Zoan fruit users have yet to show signs of complex thought, seemingly acting out on instinct and power. All awakened Zoan users seen so far are always in a form resembling their full beast form, but with human attributes. It's unknown if they become this way permanently upon awakening or if these forms are a conscious choice. 4 of the 5 jailer beasts are all classified as awakened Zoan users, with the 5th one being unknown. Paramecia. For Paramecia type powers, awakening allows the user to use their devil fruits at a new level of strength and in different manners than they originally could. Luffy notes that such a feat makes it no longer appear to be the power of a mere Paramecia. An awakened Paramecia allows the user to spread their power beyond their own body and transform or alter the properties of the material around them to match the nature of their devil fruit power, as well as manipulate the transformed material in any way they desire. The transformation effect can be spread over a very wide area. The main difference between awakening and devil fruits that allow the user to transform and manipulate the environment in the unawakened stage, such as the Hira Hira no Mi, is that awakening allows one to transform the environment from afar as well as control it with just their mind. Unawakened environment manipulating devil fruits require the user to touch what they wish to transform, and often requires bodily movement to be controlled. Doflamingo, after awakening the Ito Ito no Mi, can extend his string creating ability, transmuting the ground and buildings into vast quantities of string that he can manipulate without even the need to touch them. Karakuri affects the environment in a similar way with his Mochi Mochi no Mi during his battle with Luffy, causing the walls of the Miro world to behave like flexible mochi, and they even became edible like mochi. That being said, the ability to transform and manipulate foreign objects remotely is not universal, with few abilities showcasing unique particularities despite the general idea of property alteration still being present. Eustace Kid, after awakening the Jiki Jiki no Mi, is able to magnetize things other than his own body, even other living beings, causing them to strongly attract and be buried under mountains of metal, but he requires physical contact with his target beforehand to be able to control their magnetism. Similarly, the awakened ability of Law's Ope Ope no Mi involves altering the properties of foreign objects to turn them into small space-defying rooms in essence, but the application process of his awakening itself is done manually. In addition, both Kid and Law have insinuated that their awakenings take a huge toll on their bodies due to high energy consumption in order to perform, turning those techniques into last resorts meant to finish off opponents. It is unknown if this applies to every awakening or is a particularity of theirs. Furthermore, aside from great environmental range, awakenings may even provide entirely new abilities to their users. For example, Kid can apply inverse magnetic polarities to different non-metallic objects in order to make them strongly attract each other, completely bypassing the need to manipulate metal. otherwise the fruit's primary application. Mythical Zoan. Not much is known about Mythical Zoan awakenings. In the case of the Hito Hito no Mi, model Nika, the user does not lose their complex thought, though their mental state becomes slightly altered as a side effect of the awakened fruit. It allows the user to freely alter the shape and size of their rubbery body however they wish. Furthermore, they gain the power to extend their rubber body powers to the surrounding non-living materials, similarly to how certain awakened Paramecia types affect the environment. Monkey D. Luffy is the only known awakened Mythical Zoan. Myths and misconceptions. Due to the rarity and mysterious nature of the devil fruits, many rumors surround their existence. Particularly remote regions of the Four Cardinal Blues or isolated nations such as Wano country often lack knowledge of the fruits, believing them to be a myth entirely or attributing their powers to pure magic. The following is a list of various myths and misconceptions about devil fruits in the world. As stated by Shanks, devil fruit are considered by some to be incarnations of the sea devil. Jabra believed a rumor that devil fruit users housed actual devils inside of them. According to the rumor, if a devil fruit user went near an uneaten devil fruit, a devil would come out of the fruit and rip the user apart. This rumor has been debunked by research. In Amazon Lily, the citizens are unaware of the existence of devil fruits. The ruling Gorgon sisters are believed to have gained their Mero Mero no Mi and Hebi Hebi no Mi abilities from a curse cast by a creature known as the Gorgon. Vanderdecken IX refers to his Mato Mato no Mi ability as the Mato Mato Curse. Sugar's Hobi Hobi no Mi is also called the Hobi Hobi Curse by its victims. The Tantara tribe of Greenbit refer to devil fruit abilities as magic. In Wano country, devil fruit abilities are considered sorcery or ninjutsu. Devil fruit users are called sorcery users. Research. Dr. Vegapunk, a marine scientist and the world's most prominent researcher of devil fruits, is heavily responsible for the research into the effects of devil fruits and sea stone. It was Vegapunk who discovered that devil fruits work by affecting the lineage factor. Vegapunk even managed to replicate the effects of one certain fruit to a certain degree. Caesar Clown stated that he has done numerous experiments on his own devil fruit, insinuating that he managed to enhance its power after consumption. He has not yet explained what his research was or how he did it though. Inanimate object devil fruit users. Some years before the current timeline, Dr. Vegapunk discovered a technique that allows one to make an inanimate object, such as a gun or a sword, to eat a devil fruit and gain its power. The details of this process have not yet been revealed. So far, Zoan is the only type of devil fruit that inanimate objects have been shown as being able to absorb. Inanimate object Zoan seem to be very loyal to whoever owns them. Objects that have ingested a Zoan fruit gain the mobility, abilities, and intelligence of the animal they turn into. This can be a drawback, as the object also gains a living creature's ability to feel pain and fear, and becomes susceptible to disease. The technique that allows an object to eat a Zoan fruit is not limited to solid materials. Gaseous slime can also be used as a medium. Artificial devil fruits. With scientists learning more about how devil fruits work, it became possible for artificial devil fruits to be created. Like real devil fruits, they grant powers to the consumer and take away the consumer's ability to swim. Dr. Vegapunk created a synthesized devil fruit, though it was said to be flawed for unknown reasons. Caesar Clown managed to create his own version of artificial devil fruits, where Vegapunk failed. They're called smiles. They allow the eater to gain Zoan-like animal attributes. However, they have a severe flaw. Only 10% of the people who eat them could attain a Zoan transformation, while the remaining 90%, in addition to not gaining any powers, will lose not just their ability to swim, but also their ability to express any emotions other than joy, forcing them to constantly smile and laugh, even if it contradicts their true feelings. The manufacturing process of smile fruits involved having luminescent sunflowers provide light to the trees growing the fruits, while sand is poured into a river, leading into irrigation canals, which then channel the river under the trees in order to feed them the chemical. Many, if not all, artificial devil fruits appear to be greatly inferior in strength compared to real devil fruits. Drugs. Tony Chopper, during his 6-year apprenticeship under Dr. Kureha, created a special drug called the Rumble Ball. It temporarily enhances the effects of the user's devil fruit, granting them additional powers. The Rumble Ball works by disrupting the wavelength of the devil fruit. When consumed by a Zoan user, the Rumble Ball will grant the user additional transformations that they would not normally be able to achieve. It's currently unknown what the effect would be if the Rumble Ball was consumed by a Logia or Paramecia user. A devil fruit user should take no more than 1 Rumble Ball every 6 hours. If one were to take a second rumble ball, they would gain the extra powers but would not be able to control them. A third rumble ball would cause the person's devil fruit power to go completely out of control, something that is potentially deadly to friends, foes, and user alike. It's possible for a devil fruit user to utilize the additional powers granted by the rumble ball without actually taking the drug, something that Chopper was able to achieve after 2 years of training and research. Additionally, once this level of mastery is achieved, a devil fruit user can access the power of 3 rumble balls by only taking one, and control that immense power for a short time as well. Did you enjoy our video? Be sure to check out these other great videos from the Amagi, and make sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.